Hi, this is Larry Troca, and today I'm going to do a evaluation or critique of a horse and rider. One of my members sent in a video of this horse and rider, and she just wanted me to kind of go over it, maybe make some suggestions. And right off the bat, I'll tell you, before I start playing the video, I'll tell you, this is a good horse. I like the horse. I like the rider. She's basically doing a lot of things right. So I'm going to be kind of nitpicking here, and I'm going to offer a few suggestions that I believe would make this horse better. But overall, he's already a nice horse. Not much to really fault here. But anyway, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to start the video.
Keep trotting for a sec. I don't have to.
And we'll just kind of watch for a while here. And you can see, he's quiet. He looks like a nice willing horse. Notice he raised his head up high when she asked for that lope. He's loping nice and slow. I like that. And he's got a pleasant look on his face. He's enjoying being ridden. I see no resentment, or intolerance in him at all. He looks good. Rider's riding pretty good. Her hand position's good. Her seat looks pretty good. Her legs look pretty darn good.
Trot a few steps, supple them up a little bit, slide your bit, and then when you're ready, get your inside bend and ask for your canter again.
So you can hear the instructor and tell her to canter again, and as soon as she cantered, his head came up. He kind of wants to, kind of four beat a little bit and then drop down into a trot. Not bad, but my guess is this horse is used for pleasure. She might show him in some pleasure classes, equitation classes, something like that. And that looks pretty darn good. And right there, all right, I'm going to stop it for a second. All right, let's go back where she asked him to lope. Okay, so here we are. So right there, when the instant she asked him to lope, his head comes up. He comes. We call that he comes out of frame. Normally he goes long. He's given to the bit, and he's kind of framed up, looking nice. And then as soon as she asks for the canter or the lope, he throws his head up and goes into the lope. And I'll tell you what, that's a common problem. I see a lot of horses doing that. So what needs to be done is the instant he does this, she needs to get aggressive with her hands and seesaw the bit aggressively until he drops his nose, okay? And then as soon as he drops his nose, she needs to give him the slack and just keep right on going. Now let's go ahead and play it again. I'd kind of get him in frame. I'd get him behind the bit a little bit more. Now, see right there, he's loping natural, which there's nothing wrong with that. I like that natural look. But with him wanting to go through her hands every time she asks for the lope, I would be exaggerating him getting behind the bit. I would ask him to drop off the bit and maybe overflex a little bit, get a little bit behind the vertical. Now that's not something I'm gonna, getting behind the vertical, it's not something I'm gonna make a big deal out of. I don't want him necessarily to be behind the vertical, but I'm gonna kind of overcorrect initially until he gets the idea. All right, so let's keep on going here.
Let's trot. Oh, let's tee.
So that was pretty good. So his head, he came back when she went down to the trot and now coming down into the slower gait. He's given to her hands. You can see his head is pretty vertical right here. And even though that was good, there's a few instances back here. Let's play that part again. where he didn't really do it. He kind of thought about it.
Oh, let's tee.
So she's putting pressure in his mouth right now, and he's taking his sweet time dropping
Now,
off that
as you
bit.
get ready to go into,
So when she was loping there, and you heard the instructor say, let's trot, or in her words, let's tee, T standing for trot. She started to bring him down to a trot, and the horse took his sweet time about giving to her hands. Here again, I would get aggressive with my hands and say, when you feel that bit, when you feel my hands, you need to respond immediately and start, dropping off the bit.
the C, really think about your left leg on and get a little bit more inside bend with him. So wiggle your left hand a bit, get a little bit softer neck, and then ask. Well, that didn't work so good.
All right, so you heard the instructor trying to get her the rider to set the horse up for the canter, and then of course it didn't work. The horse cantered, but he still threw his head up
Ask.
right there. So that's kind of a we don't really want that head thrown up.
And then ask.
See, it really went up there. Before it gets here, she needs to be framing him up before she ever asks for the canter. So let me take it back again. So right here, now he's pretty framed up. Now we know he's going to throw his head up when she asks for the canter. So if I was her, I would overflex him right here. I'd get him behind the bit more, kind of overdo it in preparation for that. Okay? Get him in frame and maybe overflex him a little bit right before you ask for the lope to counteract this, because you can't have that if you're going to be competitive. My guess is maybe I didn't ask this lady if they plan on showing that horse. My guess is they probably do show him in some ranch versatility classes, or maybe some Western pleasure classes. It's hard to say. Let's go on with it here.
Well, that didn't work so good.
Notice as this horse is loping, I want you to pay attention. Now he's loping nice and slow, and like again, he's a willing horse. He's got a pleasant look on his face. I mean, he's a nice horse. But if he was my horse, I like to have a really good handle on a horse. This horse is just a tad, I'm not going to say he's on his front end. He's not really on his front end, but he's not really self-collected either. I kind of want my horses kind of self-collected, which means I want them to use their hind end in a way where they're ready to stop, ready to turn, ready to roll back, ready to do anything the instant I ask for it. And when I watch this horse lope, the way he carries his hind legs, the way he uses his hind legs, he's not really ready to do any of those things. In his mind, he knows he's just going to be going forward.
And trot.
Let's lope him some more.
Okay.
So that doesn't look too bad right there. That looks pretty good.
The mouth is quiet.
So right there, you saw she's going to slow him down, and he kind of threw his nose out. Let's just take it back just a little bit. You can see that again. Pay attention to what he does with his head when she starts slowing him down.
Quiet.
Right there, he kind of goes through her hands. That looks pretty good right there. He wants to do the right thing. He just takes his sweet time about doing it, okay? And I'd just be more demanding. I believe not every ride, but maybe every second or third ride that I gave this horse, I would sure spend some time asking him to stop, asking him to roll over his hocks, asking him to turn sharp. I'd back him up and ask him to back up fast. I just, get him to where he's on his toes a little bit more, and a little more self-collection, a little more responsive. Now, if you do that every single ride, stop him hard, back him up fast, roll him back a bunch, and spin him and all that kind of stuff, he's going to lose this nice relaxed look. And you don't want to lose that nice relaxed look. So, you do those things enough to improve the horse, but don't overdo it and get him to where, he's worried about it or anxious about it. Okay. And this is a nice horse. You don't want to mess up what you've got. And the rider, overall, I like the way she's riding. She has a tendency, you can see right here, she has a tendency sometimes to have her feet behind her too much. That may be the saddle causing that. It's hard to say. You want your saddle with the stirrup leathers hung right behind the swells, so we don't have that. And maybe the saddle's fine. Maybe this is just the way she rides. She doesn't ride like this all the time. Part of the time you'll see her feet kind of get behind her a little too much. All right, let's continue on here. All right, that's the end of the video. Okay, so overall, like I say, this is a pretty nice horse. Now, this rider, I kind of like it. This is a shot I kind of wanted to show you. Her shoulders right here are directly over her hips. Notice she has her hips tucked under her body a little bit. So she's sitting, kind of on the cheeks of her butt. It's kind of a good weight distribution right there. Her stirrup length is pretty darn correct. She's got enough bend so that if she needs to stand up and post, she can. Her feet are close to the horse. I like that. In this shot here, her foot is not too far behind her and not too far forward. It's just about perfect. Notice her forearm is in line with the horse's mouth. See how the angle of her forearm and the angle of the rein is the same? So I like her hand position. That's pretty darn good. Look where her eyes are going. She's looking where she's going. Those are all really important things that this rider is doing well. So this rider could go a long ways. I don't know what her goals are with this horse. Maybe this is it. I don't know. But if she wanted to turn this horse into a better performance horse, here again, we want to get him a little more responsive. I'd work more on getting him to stop, back up, turn, get him lighter, get more of his weight transfer on his butt, get him thinking about responding a little quicker to the rider's requests. So anyway, that's just about all I can really say about this horse. Again, I'll reiterate it. This is a nice horse. I like the horse. They have handled him well because you obviously see the look on his face. He's a happy horse. He's a content horse. Notice he didn't do any tail ringing. His tail was nice and quiet. And the one thing I'll tell you a good tip off on a person's horsemanship or how much they care about their horse. If you will pay attention to the arena that they're riding this horse in, you notice the arena is well manicured. You notice the facility looks nice. There's not a bunch of junk laying around. The ground is good ground. You notice they've got that board running along the bottom of the fence to keep the sand in the arena. So I notice all those things, and my overall feeling about this horse, this place, this rider, that instructor, is that it's all good quality. It's all high quality stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna end the video right now. I hope you got something out of it. All right, take care.